When I entered the government hospital in Jaipur, my Aunt Rajni looked like a crumpled sari left on a bed. She had always been thin. 2 months in an old-age home had taken away whatever little strength was left. I tried not to show my shock. "Hello, my old friend," a dry voice came from the darkness of the bed. "Masi, it's me, Kiran." "I know it's you," she said, eyes half open. "Why did they bring me to this hospital?" "The old-age home called me last night. They said you have a lung infection called pneumonia." "Oh," she said, as if it were nothing. "That doesn't sound too bad, right?" I sat on the edge of the mattress. It sunk under my weight, and she rolled a little towards me. "Let's see what the doctor says," I answered. "I am not ready to go," she whispered, then shut her eyes. A moment later she opened them again. "Where have you been?" "I live in Gurgaon now. It's a long drive, about 5 hours if traffic is light." "You were in Delhi before, right?" "Yes. I shifted for work. You have seen my 2 sons and my little girl, Meera. We brought them to meet you in the summer." She smiled faintly. "I remember that old house in Karol Bagh. The balcony with the money plant." "I remember it too, Masi. I know you miss it." "It felt like home," she whispered. "I am sorry, Masi. We'll keep your favorite things near you here. A small money plant by the window, if the nurse allows." A nurse came and lifted the thin sheet that covered my aunt's bones. I stepped into the corridor. The hospital smelled of Dettol, tea, and worry. People waited with faces holding both prayers and bad news. In the waiting hall, pale winter light pushed through dusty glass. A heavy man slept with a shawl up to his chin, snoring softly. An older woman in a neat cotton sari patted the seat beside her and offered me the local paper. "No, thank you. I have been driving since early morning. My eyes are too tired to read." "Where from, young lady?" she asked, folding the newspaper. "Gurgaon. But Jaipur is home." "I have never left Jaipur," she said with a smile. "I have been living here for 77 years. My husband is inside. He has Parkinson's. He has pneumonia again, the second time this winter." "My aunt also has pneumonia," I said. "They told me she may not survive." "Are you her only family?" I could have said, no, but the truth was messy. My sister Pinky went in and out of rehabilitation centers, and my brother avoided responsibility. "I take care of her documents," I said. "She never married. My mother, her sister, died when I was young. Masi was always around, like an extra cupboard in a small kitchen." "So she became a mother to you?" the woman asked softly. "Not exactly," I said, and smiled to be polite. "Do they plan to put a tube in her throat?" she asked. "Sometimes doctors suggest that." "I don't know." The thought had not reached me until now. "For my husband we signed instructions. No big machines," she said, tapping her bag. "Keeping him alive through pipes would be cruel now." Her calm voice weighed on my stomach. As Rajni Masi's power of attorney, I had already made hard choices, paying her bills, shifting her to the old-age home, and now I had to decide about machines, even if I couldn't say the words aloud. When I went back to the room, 2 young nurses were trying to talk to my aunt. "Time to change the IV, Rajni ji." "Oh. Leave me alone," she muttered. "We will be quick. You have got a sore spot from lying too long. When you go back to the home, tell them to turn you more often, okay? It hurts. Do it and finish." "Anything you need, Rajni ji." "I want a cigarette." "I am afraid not," the nurse said kindly. "You are here because breathing is hard. A cigarette won't help." "My car," Masi said, her voice wandering. "Where is my car?" "What does it look like?" the nurse asked, searching for a vein. Blue. I had it not long ago. I don't know where it went. Good news, the other nurse said. Your niece is here. Pinky. Masi perked up. Ask her about my boy, Gurdu. I miss that child. No, this is Kiran, the nurse corrected. Your other niece. Oh. That one. Tell her to hurry and bring cigarettes. You rest now, the nurse said. I remembered the last visit to the home. It was a modest place covered by her small pension and a government scheme. We sat in the courtyard under a neem tree while she smoked one after another, smiling as if the smoke was memory itself. Harish and the baby, Meera, had come with me. Pinky had promised to visit but never did. Harish told me later, while I was in the washroom, Masi asked where her car was. Her car. I laughed. Pinky and her useless husband must have sold it for quick cash long ago. I told her I would check, he said. Harish is a psychiatrist. He has a soft voice and patience like a slow river. He moved cities with me. Sometimes I envied how easy kindness was for him. She wants to live with us, I said. I know, he replied. We will try to find a good home closer to Gurgaon. With what money? I snapped. Pinky cleaned her out when I was studying. I should never have left Masi near them. Why are you trying to handle everything by yourself? He asked. Why won't you let anyone else help? Harish, she is my mother's sister, my Masi. She is a kind, long-suffering woman who keeps rescuing our family members with drinking problems, even one like Pinky who takes advantage of her. And I am frustrated because she never sets any boundaries. You don't have to be a doormat, he said, resting his hand on my shoulder. His touch was warm and steady. Part of me wanted to lean into it, another part pulled back, still angry and tense. Now, in the hospital, I sat again on the bed. Masi's palm grasped mine with surprising force. Breathing is better today, Pinky, she said. It's Kiran, I corrected, but she had already begun to cough. The sound was a rusted gate. Her small chest jumped and fell. I looked at the door, ready to run for help, but she clutched my wrist, so I stayed. After a while the storm passed. She closed her eyes and whispered, this pain. Why can't they give me something? Pinky. Her mouth softened. She grew drowsy, and her eyes slowly closed as sleep pulled her in. I wanted to sing something from childhood, something she used to hum when my mother died, and the nights felt bigger than the sky. The only tune that came was an old bhajan she loved, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram. I sang it under my breath, the words clumsy, the melody steady. Then I stopped and thought, it feels odd to sing a sleepy song while she's struggling to breathe. My mind wandered back a few years. I had taken Masi and my boys to a winter mela at a nearby college. She loved such things, parades, clowns, the brassy noise of celebration. Halfway through the trapeze act, she needed to use the washroom. I walked her slowly along the corridor. On the way back, she fumbled in her purse for a cigarette. Not outside now, I said. My sons are sitting there without anyone with them. Just one puff, she pleaded like a stubborn child. Go alone then, I said, annoyed. I stepped ahead toward the entrance when I heard a shout. Two teenage boys ran around a corner and slammed into her. She folded to the floor as if the bones in her legs were paper. We waited for the ambulance while she breathed in quick, shallow sips. Even then, I did not stay long at the hospital. Life pressed from all sides. There was always somewhere else to be. She never recovered fully. A year later, she fell again and broke her hip. By then we had moved for Harish's residency, and I was pregnant with Meera. The old age home was the only practical option, a word I said like bitter medicine. I wasn't always nice to her. She told the same stories again and again. The kitchen was sticky, there were cats everywhere, and smoke in the air. I loved her, but I also felt annoyed, and then I felt bad for feeling that way. Sometimes I wondered, without daring to say it aloud, what is her life for now? Did I wish, secretly, that her end would come quickly so all of us could rest? Did I want to spare her suffering, or spare myself? After the Mela accident, I went to a lawyer. His office had fake wood walls and a tired fan. He said the college and the event company might both be responsible. Don't worry, he told me. We can settle. She is old, so the amount won't be big. Maybe 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees after fees. It ended quickly, without a court visit. I deposited the check into Masi's account. Nothing really changed. She didn't want new clothes or gadgets. Whatever Pinky hadn't already taken had to be spent anyway, so she could qualify for subsidized old-age home care. In the end, my big gesture was just my guilt dressed up. I stood at the doorway of the hospital room. A nurse was writing on a small board on the wall. I took a deep breath. "Excuse me," I said softly. "I am the one who takes care of my aunt's paperwork. Do I need to sign anything about how much treatment she should get, like putting tubes in her or using big machines to help her breathe?" The nurse turned to me. "Are you her closest family member?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "I have all her papers." "Did your aunt ever write down what she wants at the end of her life?" the nurse asked. In English we call it an advance directive. In Hindi, it's like an Ichha Patra, a note that says what care she wants or does not want. "No," I said. "She never wrote anything like that." "Okay," the nurse said kindly. "When there is no written wish, our hospital rule is to try everything to keep the person alive. That can mean tubes and machines. But if you think your aunt would not want that, please talk to the duty doctor. We can discuss other choices that keep her comfortable." I nodded and went back to the bed. My aunt's eyes were half open, but she wasn't really seeing me. She looked tired and far away, like someone half asleep during a long car ride. I held her hand. It felt small and light. I spoke very quietly so only she could hear. "Masi," I whispered, "if you could choose, what would you want? Do you want more tubes and more pain, just to give me a few extra days with you? Or do you want me to love you by letting you rest peacefully?" Her fingers pressed mine, just a little. It was a tiny squeeze, like Sparrow's touch. I couldn't tell if she meant it, or if it just happened by itself. But it made me feel less alone. I stayed beside her as the day turned to evening. From the temple across the road, the Aarti bells began to ring. The sound came through the window and filled the room like warm light. As I listened, I understood something new. I took a long breath and called the duty doctor. I said, "Please, no tubes and no big machines. My aunt would not want more pain. We choose comfort care." The doctor nodded. "We will keep her comfortable. We will give oxygen if needed, medicines for pain, medicine for cough and anxiety, and fluids if she can take them. We will not do things that hurt her or make her suffer more." I signed the paper. I held Masi's hand. I said, "We love you. We are with you." The Aarti bells kept ringing from the temple, soft and steady.